Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. We have reached the middle of July 2020, which means we're more than halfway done with the year. And I, for one, am very happy to hear that. That feels like very good news. But anyway, as always, I am Beth Demon. You can find me online at The Delighted Bite on Instagram, but we are here doing the San Diego Brewers Guild Happy Hour at Home, our check-in that we do every Wednesday starting at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So before we get too far into this, let me just go ahead and pin the comment so that when people join us, they know what we are doing. And I'm so happy to see that so many people are hopping on so soon. You guys are like extremely punctual. I love that. I apologize. I feel like I look a little disheveled today. I actually had quite a intense play situation with my kids, so I'm sorry that if I look a little crazy. But anyway, we do this every single week. We talk to a couple different breweries and beer personalities to check in and see how operations are going, how things are going during COVID-19. You know, obviously the California state regulations rolled back even further again this week. So once again, we're having to kind of yo-yo back into our homes. But awesome. I'm so glad that you are having an IPA while you watch. If anybody wants to chime in with info on what they are drinking, or throughout the show, if they have any questions for the people that we are talking to, please feel free to comment below, and I will do my best to get to those. So this week, our guests, we've got them from, as we usually do, all over the county. We're going to start things off with Mother Earth Brewing Company, and then head over to talk to the folks at California Wild Ales, which I believe they are doing their second Comic-Con release, even though Comic-Con is obviously going to be virtual this year. So I look forward to checking in with them about that. Then we're going to hop over to Amplified, which if I'm not mistaken, is our first repeat guest, even though I think we're talking to somebody new this week, but they just today are finishing up their Black is Beautiful collaboration blending day. So we're going to check in and see how that went and what they're doing with that. And then we're going to wrap things up with Ryan Wolt. And I am so sorry if I just butchered your name, but you know, as somebody who has a terribly butchered last name, I'm right there with you. Maybe I got it right. But anyway, he's at Cheers North County and one of the newest beer writers to join the, professional freelance beer writing San Diego team, which is great. There's a couple of us who do this on the regular, and we are always looking forward to I got it right? Great. Yay. I'm so happy. We always look forward to adding more voices to our ranks to make sure we cover the San Diego beer scene with as much info as we possibly can. So before we get too crazy, well, speaking of crazy, we are going to get my own beer. So this week I am feeling a little bit tired today. I had a bit of a 3-year-old sleep issue last night. So I was like, I need something a little bit, I don't know. Maybe there's caffeine in this, maybe not. Whatever. I'm just gonna pretend like malts are like coffee beans. So I've got the Second Chance Coco Rasa, their coconut version of their porter, which is normally just tabula rasa, and one of my absolute favorite porters in the world, really, from one of my favorite breweries. And so, yeah, 33 IBU, 6.2. I personally like this. I'm sorry that I'm drinking a coconut beer, Brian Beagle, because I know that's your Achilles heel, but I mean, I've had this beer a million times. Like, it's one of my favorites. I think Second Chance is one of the best breweries in San Diego and really anywhere. So, I mean, their West Coast IPA that they put out recently is one of the best West Coast IPAs I've ever had. And, for a coconut porter, it really doesn't get much better than this. Not too coconutty, like not cloyingly sweet at all. Still super dry. Like just that hint of coconut kind of tropical sweetness. So it's a personal fave of mine, and I think it's my last can of it, so I will have to hop back over there and get some more. But if I wasn't drinking this, I would probably be drinking the United Double IPA, which I don't think is out. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's out so far. I just heard about it because I'm super on top of things. It's a collaboration put together by the Brewers Guild. It's with Stone and Modern Times, Pizza Port, Mother Earth, AleSmith, Thorn. It is to directly benefit the guild. It's at 8.5%, double IPA. I think as of now, it is available at the Stone Brewing locations throughout San Diego and a couple other places. So if you are interested in checking out what that is or picking some up, check out sdbeer.com, which is the San Diego Brewers Guild website. There's tons of resources on there as well for, what's going on with the pandemic, as well as tank tops and lots of great merch. They've got new face masks, which are pretty dope. I mean, I'm wearing one of the shirts today. So sdbeer.com is going to be a really great resource for anybody in the San Diego craft beer scene if you aren't already on top of it. So feel free to check that out. One of the other things I wanted to mention that the guild is doing as one of the initiatives is they do tap into knowledge sessions, which are available to non-guild members. So if you are just somebody interested in attending one of the virtual sessions, please do check that out. Next Tuesday is going to be a session on implicit bias in the workplace and how to awesome page. I will get back to that. And how to recognize it, how to dismantle it, so that we can move forward with more equitable workspaces in the beer scene and hopefully beyond. So it is, if you are a guild member, it is $10 to attend. If you are not a guild member, it is $20. I know that on the website earlier today, if you go to tapintoknowledge.sdbeer.com, it said $25, but it has been reduced to $20 if you are not a guild member. And again, if you are, it's only $10. So that's going to be next Tuesday. So if you are interested at all in improving diversity and inclusion measures in operations at your brewery or in your workplace, it doesn't have to be a brewery, please, by any means, please do check that out. I really recommend that if you are on like a management or hiring team at a brewery to, bring it to your superior, or if you're just a regular, a production person or a beer tender, and you think that this is something that your brewery or beer-related workplace would benefit from, please go to tapintoknowledge.sdbeer.com and check that out. That is next Tuesday. So, a couple little pieces of news before we bring on Mother Earth. I always like to mention who is hiring during these tight times. So if you are looking for a job, it looks like Wild Barrel is still hiring for their canning line. Abnormal Beer Company in Rancho Bernardo is looking for 2 cellar people, one full-time and one part-time. AleSmith is looking for a packaging assistant and a packaging technician. And Boochcraft, I know, is not technically beer, but they are our alcohol beverage neighbors here in San Diego. They are looking for a regional sales manager. And then Coronado is looking for a driver. So Wild Barrel, Abnormal, AleSmith, Boochcraft, and Coronado. Check those out if any of those positions seem like a good fit for you, or if you're looking to get your foot in the door at the San Diego brewing and beer community, because those are going to be great opportunities to do so. Let me see. Yes. It looks... Oh, and thank you, Ryan. June Shine just posted about a job like 5 minutes ago. So June Shine is also hard kombucha. It's not actually hard kombucha. It's June. There's a whole tea versus honey thing. It doesn't matter. They're hard kombucha. They're San Diego. They're delicious. Check it out. People got job openings. You need a job. Check those out. And in the meantime, like I said, this is the Brewers Guild Instagram happy hour at home. So if you have any questions for the guild, or you need some resources or help, or looking for some merch or whatnot, sdbeer.com. Please check it out. And I'm going to bring on the Mother Earth crew right now, but like I mentioned before, if you do have a question, a comment, or anything like that, please do comment here, and we will do our best to get to them. So without further ado, let's bring on Mother Earth and see who we're going to talk to. This is one of those surprise ones where I don't know who's going to show up. So we'll have to do a little intro. And I'll be interested to see what they're drinking. Where are we at? I heard sounds. That seemed like something was happening. Maybe not. Still connecting. Hello?
Yep. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I cannot see
We
you.
got no video.
Oh, that's weird. Why don't I cancel? And do you see a way to request to be in the video?
Let's see here. Yeah, let me X out.
Yeah, let's X out and then try to request instead of me adding you. All right, we'll see if that works to get the Mother Earth crew on here, because I really don't want to just be talking to myself and not talking to someone. That would be quite strange. Come on. Don't be a dick with the comments. You can be a dick somewhere else. I'm not interested. Oh, here we go. Go live with Mother Earth. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. There we go.
We made it.
We made it. How's it going?
It's going well. Just hanging out in the brewery. Thank you for hosting this. It's very cool.
Of course. Let's do a quick intro of who you are and where you are and maybe a little tour after that.
Sure. So my name's Cameron. I'm one of the co-founders of Mother Earth. My stepdad and I started the business 10 years ago in Vista. Actually, technically, we started it in Carlsbad, but we tried to license his house. And as soon as his neighbors saw the alcohol license application on the outside of their fence, they canned that pretty quickly. So we had to get a space, and then here we are 10 years later.
Well, that seems to have worked out pretty decently for you.
It was a good decision. I don't think we could have grown in the garage, but so yeah. Actually, here I want to show you guys around because a lot of
Yes.
The Vista Brewery has been closed to the public for quite a few years, mainly because when we opened the historic downtown tap house in 2012, we basically sunsetted the tasting room here, much to the dismay of all the locals in the area. But it's actually, let me flip this around. It's actually changed quite a bit. But this is where it all began, basically right here. This is the whole original suite here, just basically a galley.
Nice.
And then we used to have a tasting room, right in here. And then our tanks were behind the trash cans in the back. It was very humble back in the day. But we would still pack about 200 people in this place, overflowing into the alleyway. I mean, it was craziness. This is our brew house from Premier. And then we've got, I'll walk you guys to the silos. It's locked. Psych. Anyway,
that's cool.
I'll keep walking while I'm talking. So that was 10 years ago. It was just myself and family members, my wife, uncles, father-in-laws, one father-in-law. And now we've got almost 100 employees, and we're distributed in 15 states, and it's just madness. It's crazy. And we have a brewery in Idaho, as I'm sure you know. So
yeah. How have things been coordinating between those two states? I mean, what's the big difference, or has it been a big difference since COVID?
Yeah, it's made a huge difference. I mean, mainly because here, I'm going to flip this around real quick so you can check out this area. So, and then we've got silos back here. I'd love to have anyone who's on this, if you guys want to do tours and stuff, even though we're not open to the public normally, but I'm here all the time. I'd love to show folks around. So anyway, you can send us an email with that request at info@motherearthbrewco.com. Put tour in the subject. My wife checks all the emails. I'll tell her you guys are emailing me, and we'll do a little SD Brewers tour. How about that?
That'd be dope. I'd be super psyched on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just as far as operations go, but hold on. What do we got going over there? Let me get a better look at that.
This is our new lager, Tierra Madre.
That's a dope.
It's flipped around, isn't it? Here, wait, let me do this.
It is, but that's just the way it is. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
All right, just so you can see what it really looks like. There we go. So that's what I'm drinking right now. This is one of our newest beers. It's year-round now. It's 4.5% Mexican lager, super crushable, really light. Oh, I'm seeing some questions here that I don't want to neglect, huh?
What size is the brewery in Idaho?
Yes. Okay, so the brewery in Idaho is considerably larger than the Vista one. It's space is just a lot more available out there, and so we've got about 40 to 50,000 square feet out there, and capable of producing about 100,000 barrels a year. So it's a pretty sizable operation out there.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like, if you got started in, 2012 or so, you weren't exactly like, OG pioneer like Stone Carl Strauss style, but like that's
Right.
still pretty dang early on in terms of like the current situation. And I feel like Idaho is right along that same vein. Like you guys really saw a smart opportunity there because now you're just hearing more and more and more and more stuff happening up there. And I think that was a really smart move.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, like we kind of got in San Diego by the skin of our teeth.
Mm-hmm.
Like as it relates to like growing as fast as we did.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you're right. Like I feel like we're doing in Idaho what we did in San Diego 10 years ago. Like Idaho, it's just ripe. It's ready to just explode. Um, it's not going to explode in the same way because obviously the population is quite a bit different.
Right.
The density just isn't there, but it's still. I want to make sure I'm not skipping questions. It's still killing. Mother has been the long. Yeah, the Heart of Vista beer. Hey, that's awesome. Hey, by the way, I got to give a shout out to these guys. I Like Beer, the podcast. These guys are maybe our biggest fans. They are such huge supporters.
I love
If
that.
you if you don't follow them, and you guys all need to follow them and listen to their podcasts and check out their social media because they post a lot of cool stuff.
Deal.
Uh, Update on the downtown Vista location? No. So unfortunately, due to irreconcilable differences with the landlord at the tap house, we had to shut down that location. We're still looking, people. I promise you. Wow, that looks weird because there's like light on my face. Looks like someone beat me up. Um, so yeah, we are actively searching. We will be in North County. Don't worry. And we'll be brewing up a storm here in a little bit. The homebrew supply store, that shut down a long time ago. No more homebrew supplies. The internet business killed us. Post Falls, Idaho, fun stuff. Yes, yep. Like I said, Idaho is just ready to blow right now. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Well, as far as homebrew shops go, I mean, are you still like dabbling in that at all, or can I give a shout out to the home brewer in North Park because he's my homie.
100%, 100%. Everyone should go to your homie in North Park. Yeah.
Okay, everybody go to the home brewer if you. And I feel like COVID. It's a good time to if you're not cleaning your house or your bathroom or whatever, go ahead and just clean your brew system. Like get into home brewing because 90% of it is just cleaning. If you're feeling the
Yeah.
itch. So.
Yeah, I was joking around with my wife when all this went down. I was like, seriously, if this thing turns into like Dawn of the Dead zombie apocalypse, I am driving straight to the brewery. And I mean, it's pretty secure, right? There's a limitless amount of water, cleaning chemicals, alcohol, and cereal. So it's like we're kind
You're
of
probably
set.
pretty good.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
hunker down. And we have access to the roof from inside the brewery in case I need to like snipe some zombies from somewhere. I don't know.
Honestly, I mean, we're just over the halfway point of 2020. I feel like it's not off the table. Zombies are not off the table.
I don't think so either. We already had murder hornets, so bring on the zombies.
Oh my God. I forgot about that. It's amazing how that doesn't even like make a dent in your psyche anymore.
No, no. Once it's not trending on Twitter anymore, no one cares.
Well, before we wrap things up, how can the San Diego beer community best support Mother Earth right now?
Well, because our tasting rooms are closed, I wish I could say come in and get a beer, but I can't right now. Now, what we are doing is we're selling beer to go out of our original Thibodeau brewery.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the Shadow Ridge neighborhood of Vista. We're open 3 days a week. Our hours are on our website, Thursday through Saturday, noon to 5. We've got no draft beer, unfortunately, but we've got cans to go. We just released a brand new beer today called Alone in Space. That's a hazy IPA, part of our Project X series. And that'll, I'm sorry, you know what? That got delayed till Friday. So come in Friday. And grab it.
Deal.
And then we've got merch available on our site. In fact, I just ordered some of these sweet gators. Check it out.
Oh, there you go. All right.
So we'll be able to get these soon as well, and that's really the best way. And then obviously buying our beer at your favorite local retailer. Go to our website, go to Find Beer. It's in the navigation at the top, big blue button, and just search near you. Put your address, your zip in there or whatever. It'll show you exactly where you can get our beer if you can't make it to Vista.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for checking in with us, for the tour, for the updates. Cheers for now, and good luck with everything.
Cheers. Thank you so much. You guys are huge supporters of the San Diego scene. We love you guys.
All right. So right back at you. Thanks so much.
All right.
Bye. Cheers. All right. That was Cam from Mother Earth up there in North County. And yes, thank you so much for working on that Stone collab on behalf of the San Diego Brewers Guild. We really sincerely appreciate that. But we're going to keep things going with California Wild Ales, which I think is going to be super fun because I want to hear all about this Comic-Con little thing they got going on, especially because Comic-Con is like crazy right now. What's up?
Hey,
Nice to see you. Oh my gosh, I feel like it's been a million years.
I feel like it has been quite a while, actually.
I feel like you were my guy that like I would run into everywhere I went, like just kind of anecdotally. You were the guy that I would just see out. And now I was thinking about it and I was like, I just like don't accidentally run into people right now because it's just like I'm in, I'm out, like boom.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you're not in there that same like 2-minute period as me, like I'm missing you. So it's really good to see your wonderful face.
Yeah, it's great to see you too. I totally agree. We used to run into each other more than I can count, and now not anymore. So
I know. Well, hopefully soon. Why don't you give just a quick intro of who you are and where you are for the people watching?
All right. So my name is Zach. I'm one of the co-founders with my business partner, Bill DeWitt of California Wild Ales. I'm at my brewery right now. I kind of staged it with some things behind me. So
It looks good.
Yeah, what was it? Was that it?
I guess that was it. I mean, I feel like you guys have kind of a unique thing going on. Like you're not just a typical brewery. Why don't you just give us kind of the elevator pitch for those who might not be familiar with you?
Yeah, sure. So we are San Diego's only all barrel-aged sour facility. There are plenty of world-class sour programs in this city, but we're the only ones focusing just on sours. We honestly felt that years ago that there was just an opening for exactly this type, you know, in the homage of a Cascade and the Rare Barrel and things like that. And so we decided to launch this project. And we had some permitting delays, and then of course it takes a little while to make the beer. So we're 2 years into the tasting room and about 3.5 years into making beer. Just made our second lambic style, true spontaneous, which is super fun. Actually, the first one was just spontaneous, but wasn't a true lambic. The second one was a collab with Nickel Beer Co. So I'm super proud of that. That's why I'm bringing that up. Thank you, Brian and Tom, for allowing us to do that. Yeah, we're super excited to be part of this scene. I mean, it's one of the best in the world, and we're proud to be a part. So, yeah.
Well, and I feel like, you know, with the demise of places like Toolbox and Council, like it really became more of a void, like just the sour beer situation and availability. And like you said, we have access to some world-class stuff like Rare Barrel, whatever, but like very, very few places are doing it regularly, close to home. So yeah, I mean, you guys have a very unique, especially now, thing going on. How have things kind of changed for you with all of these regulations and back and forths and opening and closing? How's it gone for you guys?
Well, it's been about as up and down as everybody else to an extent, but we're definitely small and have no employees, so that made it kind of easy for us. We're still super teeny tiny, so I didn't have to worry about laying off a whole bunch of people or anything, which was very nice for me. I can't even imagine what that would be like as a owner to have to do that.
Yeah.
We also are very lucky. My business partner, Bill, he does all of the artwork that you can kind of see behind me and everything that we do. And he also does all our web design and everything. So we were able to transition online very quickly. So we got all of our product online and saw a lot of turnout for people coming out to buy bottles and everything when this whole thing hit. May the 4th was huge for us. It's kind of like Comic-Con. We do a whole tap takeover. I heard you mention that. I've been on since the beginning. So yeah, May the 4th was huge for us. We did 10 beers, no bottles that time, but 10 new beers, and virtually all of them sold out in advance, which was amazing. It was super cool to see. Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting, but it's been a fun transition to see what we can pull off in this time, I suppose. All things considered, maybe fun's not the right word. I should take that back.
Well, it's kind of like there's no rules, there's no precedent. Like we're just like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks, and like there is kind of a joy in the anarchy of it because
right, a little bit.
Yeah, we're not kind of just like leaning into it. Then I'm just gonna like throw into a ball and cry. So we might as well like have fun with it.
Yeah, just trying to figure it out. And I'll admit, I guess maybe I can use that word because it's been, like I said, a little easier for us than definitely some other people. We've just been able to transition well. And just being that we're small, we're out in Sorrento Valley, by the way. I forgot to mention that part. So we're out in Sorrento Valley, but this is also one of the few pockets in town that isn't really, really expensive as well. So the overhead's not killing us and things like that, as well as, that's why probably a lot of the breweries are out in North County and doesn't get talked about a lot, but yeah, you got it. It's been nice not having too much overhead in order to be able to afford to stay alive during this whole thing. So.
Totally. Well, you talked about May the 4th, which makes me, I mean, I already knew this, but I feel like it revealed to everyone that you're a big nerd. So, talk to me about this Comic-Con situation. I just got the email today, and I was like, all right, we got to talk about that.
Yeah, so we just sent out the press release, and you being press, you obviously were on our top press list, so you got it today. So every year our two big annual events, as of right now, since we really haven't had a chance to have an anniversary or anything like that, have been May the 4th and Comic-Con. We create 10. Last year they were 10 completely original beers. This year we're bringing some of them back. The Pickle Rick being one of them. You got a little bottle right there.
Oh, hey, buddy.
Yeah. So that this time we bottled that. That was only Crowler last time. So that's actually in bottles. We're doing a pre-sale right now for all the beers, including the Crowlers, which are for pickup only, but the bottles are for, we'll even ship within California and everything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's just super fun coming up with all the flavors. And last year it was one of our busiest weekends. People showed up in costume. It was amazing. Speaking of costumes, we haven't sent out a notification yet, but what we're going to do this year as well, and you can enter from a distance, social, I don't know. Anyway, we're going to do a costume contest. You can send in pictures of you in full costume or come in when you're buying your beer in full costume. We're going to take pictures of everybody or use the pictures. The way we're going to do it is we're going to upload everything to our Facebook and have everybody vote. And the winner will get a prize, which will include a bunch of swag and maybe some beer and things like that. But we thought with Comic-Con not going on, it might be a fun way to allow everybody to dress up. I mean, it's an art form at this point, and people, I'm sure, are missing it. And, before you knew it was canceled, people may have spent months building these costumes and everything. And so... So we're giving everybody an opportunity to come in and show off your costumes, and we're going to give away some stuff to do it since we can't have our regular event this year. You can send them in through California Wild Ales at info.com as well.
So that's very intriguing to me as somebody who has dabbled in cosplay. Maybe more than dabbled a couple of times. So I'm going to have to start, figuring out how to get my quarantine cosplay situation, because I just sort of written it off. I was like, I'm not going to do it, but now I have a reason to. I have a project.
Right, and you don't have to come in and you don't have to buy beer to enter. You can email us. I got the email wrong. It's info@californiawildales.com. Reverse it. Yes. And we're going to send out an email, and it'll be on all our social media and everything like that, so you don't have to remember what I'm saying right now.
Well, that's the perfect segue to wrap things up before we move to Amplify. What are your social media handles that people can follow to keep up with you?
California Wild Ales is our social media handle for pretty much everything. We've got that for Instagram, Facebook. We have a Twitter account as well. The general email is info@californiawildales.com if you have any questions or anything. And our website's fully functional, californiawildales.com. That's where our store is as well, and you can pre-order all of the Comic-Con crowlers right now. They're all on sale, and you can go ahead and order them in advance and pick them up between the 22nd and 26th. We'll get them all ready, the day you're planning on picking them up and everything. So.
Deal. Well, Zach, it was so good to see you, and thank you for checking in with us. Good luck, and maybe I will start working on my costume like ASAP.
Sounds good. Yeah, it's good to see you as well. I hope it went okay. I was a little nervous, so.
No, you're good. You're an old hat. I couldn't tell at all. So, all right. Cheers for now. We'll see you later.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right, that was Zach from California Wild Ales, who did a smashing job. I don't know what he had to be nervous about, but we're going to keep things rolling and go right over to Amplified, who I saw hopped on just a minute ago. So we're going to just keep it going because you guys don't want to hear me monologue. You're not here to talk to me. We want to talk to the beer people. Let's get them on here. What's up?
Hey!
Look at you being responsible and social distancing and whatnot.
Yeah, got people around me, so yeah.
So you're on site. See, yeah. I'm just like in my creepy guest room, alone. So, well, do a quick intro of who you are and where you are. Yeah. Maybe a little walk around.
Sure. I'm Alex Pearson. At our Amplified East Village patio. There's some of us out here social distancing, being very careful with our blending of our Black is Beautiful beer. So
I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't manage to make it on site to do a live stream from there today, but tell me about what you did.
Sure. So we've had some beer in barrels aging for a while now that we've been planning on using for some projects along the way. And as this whole campaign came to be, we obviously wanted to be a part of it, and we felt that the recipe they came out with would go really well with some of the barrel stock that we had. So we have literally been out here tasting some blends from our barrel stock, and then also from some barrel-aged coffee beans that we roasted. And the coffee component is awesome. So we're really excited about it.
So did you guys settle on a final blend, or are you still working on it?
I think we literally just came to consensus right before I jumped on here. So
nice.
We're still trying to determine how much of the coffee is insane. If you were to get pulled over with this bourbon cold brew in your car, you're in trouble because this stuff is insanely strong. But for blending into a beer, it's awesome. So.
That's awesome. Well, what made you guys want to participate in the Black is Beautiful collaboration?
There was never a doubt in our minds that we wanted to do it. Honestly, the first thing we did have to just kind of consider was right now financial constraints of whether or not we could literally afford to do it. Yeah. But so many suppliers came forward. I think the hops, not that we used a ton of hops on this beer, but they were donated. And so, we really just felt it was important for us to, as a company, just let people know that we stand with everybody that's out there, really trying to showcase the injustices that have been going on and, the systemic issues that people of color have been facing, both here in San Diego and nationally for so long. And so, it just felt like something that we had to be a part of. We've been really excited to kind of put this together and put together a thoughtful beer for this cause. So.
When is it slated for release?
So we were actually going to be doing a bottling run of it next. I don't remember dates anymore. The 23rd.
Fair enough.
I think that's Thursday. But yeah, it'll be coming out for that Friday then. So we'll be bottling it along with in 22-ounce bottles. We're going old school with it. Glass bombers.
I almost made a comment to Zach from California Wild Ales when he said he was doing bottles. I was like, we're taking it way back with those.
Yeah, no, we're releasing it with our Imperial Stout, barrel-aged Imperial Stout Nyctophobia, which will also be in bombers. And then we're, we're doing something a little untraditional, and we're also going to be releasing a hazy IPA in 22-ounce bombers because
What?
I don't know why anybody hasn't, so.
I mean, like, was this, be honest, was this like a packaging supply issue?
No, this is totally a packaging
Okay.
thing. Like, we're already having the bottling line going. We had this beer ready. What the hell? Let's throw it into bottles.
That's funny.
I thought it was kind of funny too, just because, like, I don't know, coming of age in the San Diego hoppy beer scene, it was like,
Yeah.
what 22-ounce bomber can I get from Alpine or wherever? And
Yeah.
a lot of people these days, I think, don't even realize that was the kind of the standard format 6-7 years ago, not even that long ago. But
How soon we forget.
no,
For me, it was on purpose. I was trying to like really push growlers out the door, but
totally, I'm with you. Like, don't get me wrong, I love cans. I'm all for cans, but yeah, when you have a bottling lined up and you don't have any canning, you
fuck it, man.
bottle your hazy beer. So
get weird. Take it all the way back to 2007. It's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. Why not?
Well, so you are at the East Village location. You initially started in PB. Talk to me about Lemon Grove.
We had to go there, didn't we?
Yes, we did, especially because I live in La Mesa, so I have a vested interest in more breweries in Lemon Grove.
Unfortunately, timing was just awful, and we had to put a pause on our equity raise. We'd raised the money that we needed for Lemon Grove, but in all honesty, I couldn't take on investors literally while most of our business was closed, and the requirements of the SEC we had to close the equity raise by April 30th. So there was just no way in the midst of COVID that we could pull the trigger and move forward.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, it took a pretty big financial hit, losing our deposit, dropping out of escrow, and as of right now, Lemon Grove project's kind of indefinitely paused. Yeah, we don't foresee it coming back. So we're sticking around in Miramar for a bit longer. We were able to extend our lease. So we'll be there at least through the fall, and kind of taking it day by day, seeing what other opportunities out there arise in terms of other brew houses that might become available. Unfortunately, as that case is. But yeah, we're taking it one day at a time. Thankfully we have these pretty large patios.
Yeah.
Both here and in PB, so that's keeping the lights on for right now, and we're trying to stay as safe as possible. And to be honest, the outdoor only, I sleep better at night knowing my employees have less exposure risk to customers in this situation. So it's it's not great by any means, but we're getting by for right now, and yeah, like I said, kind of taking it day by day. But yeah, unfortunately, Lemon Grove is indefinite hiatus at this point. So
while that is very bad news, I'm hoping. Can you tell us some ways that we, as the San Diego beer community, can help support the whole Amplified team right now? Like, what are some ways that we can rally around you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, everyone's been great. For people that do feel comfortable coming out to an outdoor patio, like I said, we're taking just tremendous steps to make sure that we're sanitizing, we're keeping everything as safe as possible. So if people do feel comfortable, we definitely encourage them to come visit us here. But if not, we're doing lots of takeout food, takeout beer. We're still going to be, I think we've got 3 more beers we're going to be canning in August. So still trying to do a little bit more. I mean, for us, packaging, not a ton, but at least it's a little bit more than normal. And yeah, we've got merch on sale online. All of our merchandise right now, all our clothing and apparel, is 100% being donated back to all of our employees right now. So we're doing that to try and help people where we can. Obviously, tips aren't what they used to be. So everyone's getting by, and we've had a tremendous support from our staff that's been willing to come back, and with all things considered, they've been incredible. So yeah, like I said, taking it one day at a time. It's none of this is easy for anybody, so we're just kind of taking it in stride right now.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? You're surviving today, and hopefully you'll be able to thrive tomorrow. And the San Diego beer community is 100% behind you. So we
Yeah,
really
we definitely feel that. So that's awesome.
awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time to catch us up on everything, and hopefully, we'll see you soon. Until next time, cheers. Thanks so much.
Awesome. Good to see you, Beth. Yeah,
Same. Bye.
Good one.
All right, that was Amplified. So yeah, check them out. Check out their website. Maybe order some merch and stuff like that to help keep their employees coming in and slinging beer and keeping the lights on and all that kind of great stuff. They got a couple different locations to check out. So pretty much wherever you are in the county, there should be an Amplified close-ish to you. Not as close as to me as I would have liked, but hopefully, fingers crossed that Lemon Grove, we've got 13 Point there, who I see is already, who's watching, in one of my absolute fave neighborhood places. So we'll get East County drinking a little bit more in the future once all this calms down. So anywho, we're going to wrap things up with my fellow beer writer, Ryan, and we're going to wait, let me see where you are on here. Oh my gosh, there's like a bunch of people watching. It's hard to find everybody. Am I crazy? Oh, Ryan, if you're watching on your computer, don't. You got to get on your phone. Otherwise, I can't add you. By the way, I didn't tell you that when I was telling you how to do this, but yeah, no desktop, just phones. So in the meantime, while Ryan figures this out and makes the switch to mobile, I do have a joke. It's a wine joke, but I think you guys might like it. What do you call an anti-diuretic wine? I bet you don't know. Do you want me to tell you? It's a Pinot no pee. That's a pretty good one. Anyway, hopefully he's coming on soon because, here we go. Nope, not you. Whoops, not you. Oh, there we go. Okay, sweet. All right, you figured it out. I'm so happy. All right, I have to delete that from my joke list for next time so I don't tell the same one, which would be so embarrassing. You guys can take that one to the bank. I'm full of them. Oh, I said I requested you, so go ahead and just accept my invitation to come onto the show. Please and thank you. I love how many comments we're getting. You guys are chatting to each other, you're chatting to me, you're chatting to the people I'm talking to. It's great. So, okay, I'm going to cancel it and add you one more time. We're going to see. There we go.
I made it.
I only had to tell one joke, so that's good.
And I missed the joke. That's the highlight of the show.
It was a bad joke. I have a couple like trivia things, like just in case there's a little bit of dead air, but I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here. You guys have dad jokes, but Beth's jokes are like 100 times.
You got to do on Twitter that it's kids tell jokes. I spend about 20 minutes a day just reading kids telling jokes.
Honestly, that's kind of the purity I need right now. Like, I've been looking at a lot of those, like, which Guy Fieri are you? Which frog are you? Weirdly, not a lot of Beths, but there is a which rat are you that was a Beth, and I was a little offended, but it seemed also true. So
I get it. So to clarify, you are a beer writer. I'm just someone who tells beer stories and drinking stories. I think that's like a
disagree.
Really big difference.
I disagree. Okay, so, well, first of all, I would love for you to do just a little intro of yourself. Sure. And maybe a little backstory of how you got into beer.
Yeah. Well, I'm from Wisconsin, so I was born into it.
Oh, wow. We're going way, way back. I love it.
Yeah, way, way back. I actually grew up in like the restaurant and beer industry, and I spent 25, 30 years working in restaurants and bars. And most recently, I was the GM at Iron Pig Ale House in PB for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And kind of along the way, I was also writing. I went to school for it. And so I started
That makes
this
one,
beer
that makes
blog.
one of us.
Yeah, I did, and I never got a job because of it. I never did anything, and every year when I get those alumni requests, I'd be like, well, when I make enough money, then sure, great, but it's not
Oh, so
happening today.
I'll get into beer writing where the big bucks are. That's you're nailing
If
it.
I'm getting into your industry, watch out because it's going to tank. I promise you. So I started a beer blog in like 2010,
Mhm.
and it was terrible. And then when I moved to San Diego like 6 years ago, I started a website called SoCal Sessions, which focused a lot on beer. So that got me out there here in San Diego. And then after I left Iron Pig, I took some time off, and I saw a post saying they needed a beer writer at the Coast News up in North County.
Mhm.
And I went down there and said, hey, I'm your guy. And they said, yeah, okay, go ahead. And I said, well, what are the rules? And they said, there's no rules. Just write about whatever you want. And then 2 weeks later, COVID hit. And so
Oh, I
I've
didn't
spent,
realize it was that soon. Oh my gosh.
yeah, I think my first column with them was in February, but I had been writing about beer for other people
Yeah.
kind of just on the side. And so I took that job, and I thought I spent all of last year living as if I was in quarantine,
Mhm.
like just staying away from people, recovering from working in the bar. And I thought, okay, 2020, that's my year. I'm going to be in the world. I'm going to go out and do all these things. And this job will be a great way to do that. And then I spent the last 4 months like writing about all the things I was missing by having COVID. So
Hey man, at least you still have a column. All mine hit the shitter, so I got nothing.
yeah, and I'm lucky. I feel very grateful and lucky that I have it because it gives me a reason to like keep kind of pushing each day. And we've actually turned it into a podcast, the Cheers North County podcast.
Oh.
So I started with like this great guest. I don't know if you know her, Beth Demon, I think her name is.
Yes, that is the correct pronunciation.
Beth Demon. So actually, Beth was my first guest, which was awesome. And we just started season 2 of that show. It's growing. And
How
and
do you
all we
determine
really,
seasons? Just out of curiosity.
I thought it would make more sense to do like seasons because then I can say to people, hey, I've done 2 seasons of the show.
Okay, so it's just an arbitrary.
Yeah,
marker.
there's no. I think I clarified. There's no rules anywhere here. So we started that, and actually, I just took over and started. We're starting a whole family of podcasts through the North County Coast News. So we have a headline show, we have an analysis show that digs into stuff like affordable housing, and then the Cheers show, which is like interviews with random North County people, sometimes in beer and sometimes not.
How many times have you talked to Tony Hawk, and can I talk to him too?
I have seen Tony Hawk in the parking lot of various places like 4 times.
That's awesome.
And every time I thought, that's Tony Hawk. I have to go talk to him. And then something would happen, and I would turn around, and he would disappear.
He just kick-flipped into oblivion?
Yeah, like he disappeared, and I'd see like his Mini Cooper taking off in the distance.
I love that he drives a Mini Cooper.
He does. And so I've decided that he's my white whale. I'm not even going to try and contact him. I'm going to wait until the show gets so big, he comes to me.
No, the wrong answer. So my white whale was Gina Marsalia from Pizza Port. And I, for years, was just like, everyone told me, like, she doesn't talk to people. She's doing her own thing. Like, she'll never email you back. Dude, I emailed her, and she emailed me, like, the next day and was like, yes, like, let's chat. We ended up, like, getting a little bit drunk because my husband happened to drive me there, which is unlike, it was great. I was there for, like, 2 hours. We talked about, like, having kids and parenting and, like, marriage troubles and beer kind of, and it was great. So I feel like you should meet your idols, go shoot for Tony Hawk. He'll probably say yes, and you'll have a buddy for life.
I'm going to have to really think about it because I feel like I'm in a place now where he'd be like, yeah, sure, come over. And I'd be like, well, but COVID. And then I wouldn't get another chance. So I don't know whether to do it now or to wait it out.
I would say wait. Waiting seems best. But okay, and I feel like I could talk about this all day, but tell me a little bit about like just the San Diego beer scene that you have seen. Like what attracts you to it? Like what made you want to be a part of it? What do you love
Sure.
about it? What do you hate about it?
Well,
Yeah.
I can tell you that I never planned on getting back into the restaurant or the bar business
Mm-hmm.
ever again when I moved here.
Yeah.
And we moved here because my wife got a job. And it didn't take long before she said, "You need to get out of the house." Because
Mm-hmm.
I was starting the website, I was writing about beer, but I wasn't getting out and doing things. And
Right.
so I started bartending again. And the first thing I noticed was customers in San Diego. I had been working in craft beer for at least 10 years or more on the East Coast and the Midwest. And my customers here were asking me questions that I couldn't answer.
Mm-hmm.
They were smarter about beer than I was just coming in off the street.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I really had to kind of step up my game. And then I started going to festivals, beer fests, which is everyone thinks is like this great fun thing to do. But when you go to like 50 of them, it becomes more stress than fun sometimes. But what I found was that every time I would go to a beer fest, I would meet somebody that I would take with me. They would become my friend from the beer
Mm-hmm.
industry.
Mm-hmm.
I think the first people that I met were Fede and Shannon from Hoppy Beer, Hoppy Life.
Mm-hmm.
I consider them great friends now. And if you don't know them, people should Google Hoppy Beer, Hoppy Life and buy their stuff. And so what I found was like everyone was so supportive of everyone else. It didn't matter like, oh, you like beer? I like beer. Let's be friends. And
Mm-hmm.
it didn't matter what the background was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was coming from Pittsburgh and Chicago and New York, and the beer scenes there were much more arrogant,
Mm-hmm.
or didn't exist. It was like you were either in the know or you weren't. I was coming from Pittsburgh and Chicago and New York, and the beer scenes there were much more arrogant,
Mm-hmm.
or didn't exist. It was like you were either in the know or you weren't.
Mm-hmm.
And so here it felt just so much more inclusive, and I thought that was like, yeah, that's something I want to be part of, and actually inspired me to get back into a position where I could work with beer again.
That's awesome. Well, where can people keep up with everything that you are doing?
So thecoastnews.com, you can find my column, Cheers North County, or follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Cheers North County, and I'll pop up and I'll post everything that I'm doing. There's a lot of new podcasts coming out. There's some collaborations. And then if I can, right at the end of 2019, I wrote a book, and I was planning on spending all of this year traveling around promoting that book, and I never got the chance. But I have it coincidentally.
Coincidentally.
Super weird. It's called Eli and Jane, so you can find it on Amazon or you can find it on my social feed. You'll see it everywhere. And yeah, and right now I'm focusing just on meeting new people. And I just wrote a great column and interview with Matt Robar from Pure Project. They just opened their new spot in Carlsbad.
Yeah.
And that's on thecoastnews.com.
Awesome. Well, as much as I would love to just sit here and chit chat about beer and beer writing and all that good stuff, we've got to let you go. But it was so great to see you and talk, and we will check in again soon.
No, thank you for letting me on the show and being accommodating. I thought I was being smart by being on the computer, not the phone. So
I know. I keep forgetting to tell people that that's like a thing, but I will. The 17th time is the charm. You are far from the first who has done that, so no worries.
All right. Well, you have a great day.
You too. Cheers for now.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Ryan from the Coast News, fellow beer writer and sort of East Coastin', not, transplant to San Diego. So I've been here since 2008. So I'm just going to go ahead and claim hometown, but that's just me. But we have reached the end. We are, finito. We have completed our mission for today. We do this every single Wednesday, starting at 3 p.m. Pacific time. same bad time, same bad place, same bad people. It's always me, and usually four other different people. So I will leave you with a couple of thoughts. All of the Black is Beautiful beers throughout San Diego either are out or are coming out in the next couple of days, weeks. I mean, I think the L. Smith Supergroup one is out and available at their tasting room now. I know that the North Park Beer Company one is coming out this week. I believe this Chula Vista Brewery Thunderhawk collaboration is coming out this week. I'm not 100% sure, but Pure Projects is already out. So blackisbeautiful.beer. Check out where you can get it in San Diego. Please reach out if you would like to be a guest or have a question on a future show. We are always looking for new people and new breweries and beer professionals and everybody in between to check in with, just to get kind of a cohesive feel, a holistic view of what's going on in the San Diego craft beer scene. So as always, I am Beth Demon. You can find me at The Delighted Bite on Instagram and just at Delighted Bite on Twitter. Feel free to shoot me any follow-up questions, and if you have any questions for the Brewers Guild specifically, you are watching their handle, so you have their information. Or you can do info@sdbeer.com. And don't forget to check out tapintoknowledge.sdbeer.com for the implicit bias in the workplace tap into knowledge that'll take place next Tuesday right here at the San Diego Brewers Guild virtual session. So it was great to see everybody. I feel like this was especially interactive today. I loved it. But I will see you next week. Until then, cheers. I already finished my beer, so time for another one. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Bye-bye.